Hello there. For today's video, we have a local station along the WMT 2nd Avenue line. The WMT is a private transit company in New Appalachia, a fictional Minecraft city set in Colorado with a twist. The city operates on a timeline, and the builders are restricted to the technology of the time. The timeline works like this. After 2 days, a month has passed, and after 24, a year. The map started on January 1st of 1900. It is now on the cusp of 1906. The city comprises 3 counties: Westover, the main core of the city; Easton, a vast undeveloped land; Yankland, otherwise known as the land to the north. The 3 counties are separated by the Jefferson River. Now, back to Westover Mass Transit Corporation, or the WMT for short. The WMT is a Smithtown-based private transit company which operates both subway and elevated lines in the county of Westover. Now that you've been filled in on the lore, let's learn about the WMT 2nd Avenue line. The WMT 2nd Avenue line opened on December 1st of 1903. When it first opened, the 2nd Avenue line was made up of 5 stations, those being 5th Street, 10th Street, 20th Street, 27th Street, and 36th Street. Although they never caught on, several conspiracy theories had formed around the line. Several conspiracy theorists in Gordontown, who preferred not to be identified due to safety concerns, are quoted as stating that the line was a cover-up for something far worse lurking beneath Hollis. The man points to the fact that the most southern station was placed on 5th Street, as well as the line opening with 5 stations. The conspiracy theorists also questioned why Westover Mass Transit Corporation constructed a waterfront line, as it would seem that more ridership would be available to the corporation further inland. After ridership declined slightly in Gordontown as a result of the man's conspiracy theories, the WMT issued a memo stating that there is no cover-up in Hollis. The company stated that the line was built under 2nd Avenue to provide passengers with easy ferry access to East End. For most, that explanation would suffice. However, conspiracy theorists would point to the fact that no ferry service existed between Westover and East End at the time. The WMT declined to comment. As this was not the first dispute between the WMT and Gordontown, the company decided to ignore the claims. As most of its ridership at the time was based in Smithtown, it could afford to wait for this one to blow over. Back to the 2nd Avenue line. The first section of the line was opened with 3 tracks. In this station profile, we'll be taking a closer look at the 27th Street station. The story of 27th Street is quite the odd one. First, some information about known service patterns. Please note that the scope of this video is limited to late 1905. As of November 1905, this station was only ever served by 2nd Avenue local trains. During rush hour, peak direction express trains will bypass the station via the Center Express track. A failed 1905 proposal almost saw the center track being abandoned and replaced with 2 lower-level express tracks. However, the funding for the plan was rerouted to the WMT Hollis Avenue line, and a proposal was put to the back burner. It should be noted that because of a wall obstructing much of the center track, that this would not have affected the aesthetics of the station, although I'm sure that the riders at this station would not mind if express trains were rerouted to a lower level, as the current setup amplifies the sound of passing trains to create a sound resembling crashing plates rather than that of a moving train. Not a pleasant sound, to say the least. When the WMT 27th Street station opened for the first time, a single mezzanine existed at 27th Street and 2nd Avenue. The mezzanine featured 4 exits, 1 to each corner of the intersection. Conspiracy theories had resurfaced about the line by 1905. However, by this point, the line had been extended to 55th Street, and the WMT was in good standing with the New Appalachia Maritime Service, or NAMS for short, which drew attention away from the coinciding numbers. However, attention would soon return to the 2nd Avenue line in a far more destructive way. Above the 27th Street station at 28th Street, the Hollis Surface Rail Transit Company, or HST for short, was constructing a trolley line to Jefferson River, something the WMT viewed as an invasion of its waterfront territories. In an apparent retaliation, the WMT signed an agreement with NAMS to construct a connecting passageway between their stations. The once small 27th Street mezzanine was extended past 28th Street, and 2 additional exits were added at 2nd Avenue and 29th Street. A lengthy passageway was built between 2nd Avenue and Tidal Avenue. A fare control area was set up at the NAMS ferry terminal, as well as an additional exit at Tidal Avenue. The fare control area in the NAMS terminal would function as a reduced fee transfer. A WMT worker was tasked with ensuring that only passengers who exit the ferry could use the reduced fare connection. All non-NAMS connections would be redirected to the fare control area across Tidal Avenue at 30th Street. Both companies had planned to open the new services together. NAMS would open its 30th Street landing, and the WMT would open its reduced fare connection. August 8, 1905. NAMS opens the 30th Street landing. However, a final mezzanine inspection by WMT construction workers uncovered a massive fault line forming across the ceiling. Moments later, 2 cave-ins would occur beneath 28th Street and 2nd Avenue, killing 3 workers. The opening was forcibly postponed. It was discovered that poor construction techniques used by the Hollis Surface Rail Transit Company, or the HST for short, had critically damaged the ceiling. Following this event, the WMT filed a lawsuit against the HST. The WMT lawsuit had initially demanded 10% of the trolley line's revenue for its first year of operation. The courts saw this as too harsh, and instead a more, in quotes, generous settlement was reached. Unfortunately for the HST, it was not generous enough. A settlement was reached costing the HST $100,000 USD, and that is 1905 dollars, so that inflates quite a bit. The company, already in severe debt, was bankrupted by the lawsuit. The HST employee identified as the cause of the incident was charged with murder and was later publicly executed. Despite the practice being on its way out throughout most of the country, it was not uncommon in early century New Appalachia. $25,000 was given to each family affected by the cave-in, and the remaining $25,000 was given to the WMT. On November 30th, 1905, the affected area of the mezzanine was reopened, and the WMT NAMS connection was open for revenue service. And now, for a bit on NAMS, we are joined by Trainrider Railfan.
NAMS, New Appalachia Maritime Service, originally had a landing at 29th Street for several months, constructed after the HST, at the time TLT, moved forward with the 28th Street trolley. Because the HST was constructing a depot that extended out into the river, NAMS was given permission to construct whatever they wanted underneath it, a dangerous power to grant. As the trolley was delayed again and again, the WMT offered a reduced fare connection to NAMS if a subway platform-style landing was constructed there. Eventually, construction was complete and the landing was opened, with a WMT transfer, and later, finally, an HST transfer. However, the WMT still refused to acknowledge the existence of the HST on any of its signs.
Now that we've learned the lore about the station, let us take an in-game tour of the WMT 27th Street. Alright, so here we are at 27th Street and 2nd Avenue in Westover. To the north of us, we can see the 28th Street trolley line, which runs over there. And right in front of us, we can see the 27th Street station itself. So they have these entrances here, or I've put these, I guess. So we have these entrances here: 27th Street Station, 2nd Avenue Line, 85th Street, Smithtown, 36th Street, and Gordontown to Culver Ferry or Cowboy Road, Westover Mass Transit, WMT for short. So we enter the station here. There is the mezzanine. So of course, as mentioned before, we have the 4 exits at 27th Street and 2nd Avenue, sorry. There's another one over here. This station again has a green tiled pattern there, as well as a blue and red accent around those. And then we have another exit over here. So there we go. So let's enter the station. So this is something new here that the WMT has been rolling out. So new turnstile design. These are the first actual turnstiles within the WMT that actually spin and aren't gates. So we have those. And again, let's enter here. So entry, 2nd Avenue line. And you just have to click them first to see which way they're facing. And then you click it again, and it should take me through. There we go. So I'll just show you guys that again. There we go. And it takes us right on through there. So there we go. Exit 27th Street and 2nd Avenue. Here we are at the section of the station which used to be the original mezzanine. We can clearly see where it used to cut off right here. So this was a wall prior to the station being upgraded and a mezzanine extension occurring to 29th Street and the NAMS passageway opening. So here we have a mosaic. I believe this is new. The original mosaics here sat right there, and they said 36th Street on this side and Cowboy Road on that side. So let's enter the platform. Here we are. It's the Uptown WMT 2nd Avenue local platform. We can see it has a green tiled pattern there. There are 27s displayed on the wall, as well as mosaics displaying 27th Street. We can see there is a bit of blue in there, as well as the predominant green color there. There's, of course, the benches. The station, again, as I mentioned before, it does have a nearly walled-off track pillar design. I believe you'd call these track pillars. That's what I call them. But it's walled off. There are slits over here, which creates a horrific sound every time a train passes by. Right there, we have an emergency exit. Again, as mentioned before, 3 tracks. So this is the Uptown local track, the Center Rush Hour Express track, peak direction, and the southbound or downtown local track. Although to this point, we are arguably within the downtown region of the city, which would more so be viewed as 30th Street through 39th Street. Then, of course, an exit sign there. And the platform continues here north. Then if we proceed north, we can see the extended mezzanine area. And we will now do just that. And over here, I should mention, there used to be switches here, but those were removed after a derailment occurred north of the station during rush hour testing. And these switches were also redundant as new switches were added north of 36th Street, as well as at the somewhat recently opened 55th Street station. It did open this year in game, this year being 1905, of course. So the switches there are now redundant, and so they were removed. You can also see an emergency exit over there. indicated by the blue light, and sometimes you can see sunlight pouring through those. I'm actually not sure why that one has sunlight and this one doesn't. But let's exit out over here and have a look at the connecting area. So this is all new here. So this was built very recently and canonically opened November 30th, 1905. So we have that staircase, which we just came up. Then, of course, you have the downtown platform. A quick look, since it's similar to the other side. Basically the same thing. There we go. We can see down the downtown platform. All right, so now let's have a look over here at this exit. Then we'll have a look at the New Appalachia Maritime Service ferry connection. So exits 29th Street and 2nd Avenue. Again, enter through the turnstile, and it takes us on through there. And then we can have a look at these exits, which are new. Of course, you wouldn't really be able to tell that they're new by looking at them, since the WMT typically replaces and upgrades things using the same design as the previous area, so that not to stick out too much and to blend in. So there we go. There's that sign over there. Here we have the trolley tracks, and this was the area where the mezzanine caved in, right below here. And this was due to, again, HST poor construction techniques of this area, which you can see is different from the surrounding cobblestone and asphalt. This is not a shadow glitch, by the way. This is asphalt. Some roads have asphalt now, and some have cobblestone. Although the cobblestone ones will gradually be faded out. Or phased out, sorry. Alright, so let's head down here. Here we have an old notice about the incident. Closed due to damages caused by ignorant HST workers for repair. So that happened, and this was on opening day, by the way. I should have mentioned this before, but I think I did. So this happened opening day. So let's just head back on through here. Let's see if we can get through there. There we go. So over here we can head over to the NAMS connection. So here we have a mosaic, NAMS ferry, and that's right above the Uptown mosaic as well. So exit NAMS ferry, Tidal Avenue and 30th Street. We can see the sign over there, and gates over here. These do actually work, so these can actually open and close. So both of them can. So that's how that works. It did actually open and it did actually close on the same day. So we can head through this passageway, which was, if you're wondering how these walls were done, this is the Little Tiles mod. And that's how they're so straight, despite clearly being on an angle and not along the axis. So if we continue through this long passageway to Tidal Avenue, which you could also call First Avenue, since it fills the same role. We head over here. There is the non-transfer / connecting exit. Exit 30th Street and Tidal Avenue. Of course, proceed through the turnstile there, and here we are at Tidal Avenue, and you can see how far this is from the actual station over there. Look at that. The station's all the way back there, and we just went through that long Port Authority style passageway. Did I take this one? Yep, I did. Okay. So we can head back through there and walk to the NAMS connection right on over here. Alright. And here we go. NAMS connection. So there are some grates over here and a set of turnstiles. So let's head on through those. Entry 3 cents. So this is a reduced fare transfer, as they call it. So the way this works is if you exit the ferry, you are allowed to use the turnstiles. If not, then a worker will direct you to use the other entrance. So it's a sort of transfer system. Since these systems are separate, this is what they have to do in order to incorporate transfers, and it's just a low fee of 3 cents, which is lower than the normal fee of 15 cents. And of course, you have this water here. This is part of the Jefferson River. Quite nasty stuff over there, as we can see. And of course, this is the NAMS platform. Ferries will stop here, and you can use the ferry service. Tunnel to WMT, 2nd Avenue line, back there. Benches, of course, right there. You can sit on the benches, like that. All right. And a mosaic here. WMT lines are that way. Then, if we head over here, there's a TLT station. I'm not sure if TMC will be doing a video on this, so I won't be showing that in this video. So there's another sign over there, City Hall Landing, 0.65 miles away. Exit to 29th Street. So this was the original exit since the HST opened after this connection was built and this yard, but then disaster struck, and well, the connection didn't open until after the HST opened. Isn't that nice? Then terrible safety standards here with the HST. Look at that. I can just fall in to that water down there and drown. And another sign over here, 29th Street Landing, open for NAMS service. Enter across Tidal Avenue for a WMT. And this is a new NAMS thing here. So this is their new indicator. Pretty cool. This is an abandoned NAMS terminal, ferry landing. N&O. I've never seen these signs, by the way. What is this? N&O. And now we will review some footage of a northbound express train bypassing 20th Street and 27th Street during the AM rush. We are now bypassing the 20th Street station on the WMT 2nd Avenue line. You can see the station through the slits in the wall. We then re-enter the tunnel, heading northbound towards 27th Street. Note the blue lights to the left, signifying an emergency exit. Another of which we can see as we approach 27th Street. Again, you can see the station through the slits in the wall. Rush hour trains would pass through the station rather quickly. Note the site of the old switches and another emergency exit ladder. I hope you enjoyed this one. I had fun making it, as always. And I hope to see you next time. I am Myrtleman, and I have been joined by Trainrider Railfan for this video. If you did enjoy the video, then subscribe and leave a like. I'm saying goodbye. Thanks for watching.